This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
Welcome back to the program. I'm now joined by Wayne Miller. He's Executive Director of the Venture Center, which is housed in the Little Rock Tech Park, but does a ton of programming. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Roby. Thanks for having me be a part of your program today.
Let's talk about, I want to start FinTech first, because that's what we're in the middle of right now. You're in your second ICBA FinTech Accelerator program, and then the applications have opened for the fifth FIS FinTech Accelerator program. We'll forget ICBA and FIS in terms of what the acronyms stand for there. Describe to everybody what financial technology, FinTech is, and what you're doing with these accelerator programs.
Great. So I think one of the things to keep in mind, obviously, is we always look at Little Rock in Arkansas is where this all began. I think we called it data processing in 1968 when Systematics put a stake in the ground here, which is, of course, now FIS today. But it's it's given us great roots here and a great mentor base, et cetera, to really develop these financial technology companies through sort of our history here in Little Rock. What we're trying to do is really make a difference from a banking perspective and how banking is changing, both on a global basis as well as on a national basis. And our two partners are giving us line of sight to about 25,000 banks on a global basis. What we do is we work with those partners to identify the particular problems that they're trying to identify, either at the community bank level or at a product level with FIS. And our intent there is to help them solve those problems by sourcing early stage companies who are building solutions to overcome these concerns.
So you've got this hub, and for people that haven't been there, you've got this hub of this space, workspace. There are these companies, these startup companies with these young and talented entrepreneurs. They're not all young, and
no,
they're all talented, though.
That's for sure.
But so you've got these people with these ideas for things that are disruptive in terms of how banks and investment institutions offer services to other customers, and they are finding new ways to do these things. It's really upending the industry.
It is, and I think we believe highly in terms of disruption, but not necessarily disintermediation. So we're trying to make sure we keep the banks connected with their clients, right? The other thing too is as the program has evolved over 5 years, while some of these companies are kind of true startups, more of these are early stage companies today, and part of that's because we want to be able to get them to market quickly. And one of the core values of the program that we developed here and as we've been successful is being able to get those companies to market quickly. So, fundamentally, you don't have a business unless somebody buys what you're selling, right? But secondly, the ability to integrate that effectively. So the companies that we're seeing today as we work with our customers, both FIS and the ICBA, these are companies that are likely already in a market position, are generating some revenue and have raised some capital. So they're sort of post-seed round, but kind of pre-Series A round in terms of where they are in a funding perspective. They likely have customers generating anywhere from $500,000 maybe to $1 million in revenue. So it's not so much proof of concept, it's more proof of value, which is a little bit different. And these guys are attacking things like mortgage, deposits, obviously the application of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Security is a big issue, certainly keeping bankers up at night. But they're being challenged, banks as a whole, by trying to be disintermediated by some of the big tech companies who are now becoming banks and so forth. So we're helping with that battle.
So what happens is they come in, it's a 12-week program typically. Correct. So they come in and there's some mentorship. There is some money that kind of helps them, finance some of what they're doing. Why Arkansas, though? What are they getting in terms of the expertise that comes in? Are they getting access to some of the head honchos at some of the banks here? Some company like a Stevens is here. That's real world experience that you're not going to get in maybe New York or San Francisco or somewhere else where that level of access is just not as easy.
It isn't. I think when we started this, we didn't know exactly where it was going to go, and today we have a pretty well, solidified methodology. So the first thing is we need them here for 12 weeks. We're kind of prickly about that, if you will, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is because we're bringing through the course of the 12 weeks anywhere from 50 to 70 financial institutions, and about 80% of the people who attend here are at the C level. So these are really people who can make business decisions. They're not necessarily here to buy. We like them to put a lens on here that says, hey, we're going to help shape, mold, and sculpt these solutions and help them get further customer validation. We do invest in them. ICBA and FIS makes a seed investment at each of these companies of about $75,000 each. But given that same money and the opportunity to go meet with this level of institutions over a 12-week period would be virtually impossible for them to do. So these folks come to town. These accelerators have about $1 million impact on the economy of Little Rock in terms of the visitation, the hotels, the meals, all these sorts of things. We are trying to pay back from that perspective,
Right.
which is great.
And you hope to keep a few of them around.
Well, we do, and we've been successful. We've had about 7, and I think we've got another announcement coming up fairly soon. We're excited about it.
You're
as well.
welcome to spill the beans now.
I'm on a tightrope there.
So there are other things that the Venture Center is doing. I don't want to just limit it to the FinTech, 2 programs there right there, but go ahead and I guess give everybody a little bit more insight as to the other things that you're doing and where you guys kind of fit in the entrepreneurial ecosystem that's here, because there are other entities that are also working with these startup and early stage companies. Sometimes there's some competition, sometimes everybody's got a little bit of placemaking involved.
Yeah, I think over the last couple of years, we've got some great entrepreneurial service organizations within the state. Obviously, Northwest Arkansas, Startup Junkie, Conductor in Conway, the Innovation Hub over here in North Little Rock, and so forth. And I think we've our middle name is collaboration. The sort of the 3 pillars of the Venture Center are about educate, collaborate, and accelerate. Accelerate we sort of covered today, but from a collaborative standpoint, working with these other ESOs is important. We want to build great businesses in Arkansas, and it's not just about tech companies. It's also about building great small businesses. And all of us, I think, have a similar mission of trying to find people who have great ideas and giving them an appropriate path and method in which to accomplish that, and also supporting that with mentorship and experience. One of the great things I love about my team is most of us have built companies, 12 or 15 startups apiece. Most of us have raised a lot of capital, so we've walked in their moccasins, right? We're trying to collaborate effectively with those folks as well as our local educational institutions like UALR and U of A, et cetera, because we also want to help build workforce. So our programming is about helping to educate this community, helping to give them the tools that they need to effectively build a business, regardless of the stage that they're at, bring them mentors. That we have about 100 associated with the Venture Center and throughout the state. So a lot of people care about this, and if we can build great businesses in Arkansas, it's great for everybody.
What's the missing piece? What's still not as robust as it needs to be?
Well, I think the competition comes from the coasts, right? So here in Arkansas, we were at one time considered a flyover state. I don't think that is the same as it used to be. Arkansas is a little tough to get to, but once you're here, it's very easy. Direct flights would be great, and I think that would be helpful to help us get more investors here. Capital is still a challenge for us. Workforce is still a challenge for us. I think workforce is a challenge everywhere. It's not just an Arkansas thing, so no one has the corner on that market. But what we need here is a few more exits. We need some companies to do some big things and to help people pay a little bit more attention to what's happening here. But Arkansas, I'm almost 3 years here, and the access that we have here and the capacity to get things done is just different than it is anywhere else in the country. And once people come here and experience that, they think, this is a great place to start a company. I mean, I don't understand why you'd want to do it in San Francisco and New York, just in terms of cost and traffic, quality of life. It really is
your money
a better
stretches
place to
further
do
to
that.
your access, as good as you say. Wayne, I like where you're leading things.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
Roby,
for being
thanks
here.
for having me be a part of this. It's great to be with you.
All right, we'll have you back soon.
Good deal. Thank you.
We're back with more right after this.